Welcome to Amplifyre's interview series. My name is Kristian, and joining me today is the founder and CEO at Seven, Adrian. Adrian, welcome to the series. How are you today?
Oh, really good. Thank you for the invitation, Kristian.
Absolutely. As today we are exploring custom voice and video communication solutions across industries. So maybe to start us off, how does the demand for customized voice and video communication solutions vary across different industries? And what factors determine the need for a custom solution versus using existing platforms like Zoom or Microsoft Teams?
Well, it's a good question. You know, we are in this custom software development business since 2007, and for the last decade, we have been strictly focused on specialized in custom voice and video communication solutions for across industries. We notice a serious rise for demand of these solutions in wide range of industries for organizations on large-scale enterprises, clinics, schools, and more. And despite of the availability of these well-known tools that you mentioned, Kristian, many clients asked us many times, approached to some important business needs that these existing tools could not satisfy. I will now tell you what are these needs. So that was noticed by the long years of experience working in that. So first of all, it's protecting client data and preventing client leakage. It's very important issue for businesses that provide a direct communication between employees and company clients. They want to keep everything in their local environment, in their infrastructure and tools, and don't want to use the third-party tools that will provide this or facilitate this problem to them. So another thing is custom tailored implementation for different models of distribution and platform architecture. For example, C2C, B2C, B2B, and B2B2C. Also, it's like various ways of monetization of consultation. So for example, it can be per minute, per session, per hour, per message. There could be different options like video, audio, chat, communication, and different variations and combinations of these options together. Also an ability to providing different pricing tiers, for example, for different consultations, for different various level of experience of these employees in the business, and different categories. Also different times and conditions. So for example, working hours, weekends, or overtime, or even emergency cases. Another thing is real-time payments to reduce accounts receivable. So provide services on demand in some emergency cases. Of course, it's like healthcare, it can be legal, it can be even emergency cases in the business. Like we had cases, for example, for heating and plumbing, where there is no time to wait and you need to fix the problem immediately. Another thing that I can mention is deep integration into the company infrastructure and environment, like to ensure proper protection of corporate and confidential information, as well as the quality control of the provided services. So everything should be under one roof and controlled by the organization. And of course, centralized management of invoicing and even automatic payrolls to the consultants that are employees of the company. So this is the reason why the niche was formed, and to which we have actively been involved since 2013, and especially in the recent years, again, the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic. If answering your question regarding the industries, it's I would say it's consulting business in over 80 specializations that we noticed in the past. It's healthcare and education. And this is all the cases where there is a requirements for the solutions for live communication, industry adopted video and audio tools, and an option for monetization of these services.
And I think for the next couple of questions, we should focus on those two industries that you mentioned, healthcare and education. So let's look at healthcare for a bit. What are the unique challenges and opportunities for healthcare startups in developing voice and video communication solutions for telehealth and telemedicine? And can you provide successful examples of healthcare solutions that have been implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Sure. So first and foremost, this concerns the specific of telehealth and the requirements of the healthcare industry. So conducting planned and emergency remote consultations with patients or diagnosing various pathological conditions online. I would say that the most the demand in that is the tools that require like specific integration with the centralized electronic health record system, because usually clinics, hospitals, all these organizations, they have already their own healthcare information systems already in place, and they want to deeply integrate with them. That the third-party tools that you mentioned at the very beginning, they cannot just do this. It's specific e-form for recording chart notes during the patient consultations. It's e-prescriptions, electronic prescriptions. It's a remote patient tracking with the live connection to the different measurement medical devices. It's one of the most important, what's needed, it's a strict compliance with government standards for protecting patient healthcare information. And it's like an addition to the standard personal data protection. So for example, in each country, there is a government act for regulating the healthcare information operations like HIPAA, PIP, EDA, GDPR, depending on the country. So yeah, the healthcare solutions required a specific adaptation to voice video communication tools that can be embedded, or they can be used like a third-party tool, but definitely they should be very deeply integrated and meeting the regulations. If talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, many industries had their daily activities moved to online mode, as we all know. But long before the pandemic, we've been working on the software for online services for video, audio calls, and we developed a number of ready-to-use solutions. Thanks to that fact, we created several professional platforms for servicing client online. So for example, if it's the US, Canada, or some European countries where private healthcare practice are well developed and patients are serviced in the specialized private clinics, there has been an increased demand for like voice and video communication tools that can be integrated into existing practice management software, or vice versa, like practice management software that we can provide in a custom tailored way to them with a built-in voice and video communication tools inside. Also, there was an ability for us to work together with our clients, filling their needs in, and we created a mental health clinic, a comprehensive software as a service platform for clinics that includes both practice management and voice and video tools. It's voice and video tool that can be integrated into existing practice management software, or platform for individual healthcare providers that are also practice management with voice and video tools. So a lot of this stuff, but they are very, very highly customized. And of course, the standalone application for individual healthcare providers to make paid video audio calls with the prescriptions and all that stuff as an addition options. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, it forced us all to experience something that we had never forced before. And we found our company's decent expertise in this direction valuable and helpful for many industries.
Let's switch gears here and talk about another thing that was very highlighted during the pandemic, and that is online education. So, what are the key features and functionalities that make video and audio communication tools effective for online education and tutoring platforms? And, are there any emerging trends in this space?
Well, I would say that the situation with education, it's a bit different here to compare what I already discussed with you. It's compared to the healthcare and consulting businesses, schools and universities began using video and conferencing tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meets, and others, since they do not have to monetize the lessons they provide. However, the distance learning and conditions where the children or students are in a familiar educational environment. I mean, in the environment they already have all the activities in current institution that they are studying, has a significant increase in the demand for online learning content management systems and specialized tutoring platforms with adapted video and audio tools. What is special is that the familiar one-to-one lessons for group audio and video calls, which is used in a familiar tools, is often replaced by one-to-many with option for managing student, let's say, polls, as well as the various settings for video recordings, storing these recordings, and much more, with the only necessary, which is all that stuff is mostly necessary for teachers, tutors, and they are not so necessary for a general public. So that's the main difference, I would say. Also, the important fact here is the intellectual property, because lessons, recordings, sessions, everything should be properly managed in the terms of the protecting the intellectual property and sharing to the people who has an ability to access this, and not sharing with the third parties or even outside, for example, the European Union, if we are considering the GDPR and European clients and students and schools and facilities. Regarding your question for emerging trends, yes, we also notice some emerging trends here. It's like simplifying access to systematized educational materials. It's improving ongoing knowledge testing. It's identifying problems with unlearned material. It's preparing plans for online sessions with teachers. I would say also like improving the preparation of students for admission to universities with the use of AI technologies. It's interactive online learning tools with the social networking functional that is inside, not outside. And of course, after sessions and lessons, self-learning improvements and monetization of the whole for universities and private schools and tutoring platforms.
You know, there's a lot more I'm sure we can discuss about these kinds of projects, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more questions about it. It's something that I use, of course, every day in my business, doing interviews and things like this. I mean, this is, the platform we're using today is a perfect example of this tool and what it's built for and how we utilize it, and seeing that we, have this work remote era and how important those audio and video communication tools are now. So if people are interested in finding out more about At7, about what you guys do, where can they go?
Yeah, if you want to find out a little bit more about about 7, you can visit our website. It's 7collab.com, and you can find there a lot of different case studies and detailed description of our core and white label custom voice and video communication and monetization solutions across different industries.
Brilliant. So go check them out. The links, of course, are in the description. Adrian, I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure to have you on the interview today. It was very interesting.
Pleasure to me as well. Thank you very much, Kristian.